Good morning and welcome to Morning Movie News, where tomorrow the viewer question will return. But today, I want to use that slot to once again remind you that tonight's the night for my very first live event. What are we going to do? We're going to watch Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, live together. I just purchased my copy on iTunes, and then afterwards we will have a live Q&A. You can even interact with me while we're watching, although of course my eyes will be largely glued to the Ultimate Edition to see what they've added with this additional 30 minutes. So I wanted to just go over the steps for you to participate tonight and of course to remind you that it's happening. So, step one, you buy the BVS Ultimate Edition on iTunes or however you wish to acquire it. But anyway, the idea is that you are ready to watch it and press play at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. That's when it's going to go live here on Beyond the, not on the Movie Math channel, but over on the main Beyond the Trailer channel. You want to click over there at 8 p.m. I won't start right away. It's not going to be like, oh, if you're not logged on at exactly 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you'll miss it. I'll give you about like a couple of minutes of grace time. But anyway, make sure you've got your snacks and that you're good to go. So, again, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you don't know what time that is where you are, if you're not on the East Coast in the United States, you can always Google it. Just say, what time is it in New York right now? And then you can figure out the time difference. And then again, after the movie's over, it's pretty long, so thanks for staying up with me. But, I'm going to then take a short, quick break. We all will, for just a couple of minutes. Then I'll come back, so also it can be two separate videos. And we'll do a live Q&A where we can talk about the movie right away after having just watched it. And then, of course, if you're not available tonight, or if you don't have the Ultimate Edition yet, it's not available in some countries, both of those videos will be going up on the main Beyond the Trailer channel and staying up there so that you can watch them at your leisure. So I can't wait. Again, I've never done a live event like this before. I'm very excited. I have an appointment today with my MCN to learn all the tech know-how. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, so let's get on to today's episode of Morning Movie News, where we have some very interesting things to discuss. And the first is Moana. A number of you sent me an article that's going around from The Guardian, one of the top papers in the UK, about how a number of people over in the Polynesia region, including like New Zealand, etc., are upset about the way that the demigod Maui is being depicted, and that's Dwayne Johnson's character. They feel that he doesn't have, forget Dwayne Johnson's physique, he doesn't have a physique befitting a demigod, right? And this is supposed to be a really admirable hero, and they instead are calling him obese, fat. They think that it's a really, not only an unflattering portrayal of their culture, but also an unhealthy one, because some of them are pointing out in that region that obesity is becoming quite the epidemic. Well, obesity is actually a global epidemic. And so, that's one of the reasons I don't know if you've noticed this, but if you pay attention, Santa Claus is getting thinner. For instance, Hallmark ornaments, they're trying to depict him at a healthier weight, which is interesting, and I think actually in the long run a good idea. His belly can shake like a small bowl of jelly, right? All right, so or not at all, right? Okay, so anyway. How do I feel about this? Well, I think that Disney's painted themselves into a bit of a corner, right? So basically, an artist pointed out and said, well, look, the physical traits that Maui has in the movie are those of a sidekick in animation. And that's what Maui's supposed to be. And I think that makes sense because I think that Disney wants to avoid anyone trying to make Moana and Maui a couple. Right? Because the age difference is so big. Not just between the characters, Moana is supposed to be 14, but also the actors. Auli'i Cravalho, the new actress they found to voice Moana, is also around 14. And also, she's definitely in high school. And The Rock is 44. So maybe they should have gotten an actress who was of age, but this is the situation that they have. And maybe Moana won't have a romantic interest. It certainly worked well for Elsa, but still, the shippers ship what they want to ship. But maybe Disney was trying to work against that. Although, to say that someone who looks like Maui is not a romantic option is problematic right there, because what is that saying? So I think that maybe I wouldn't have made a Disney princess who was 14. Not only that, but, for those who want to see that character have a romance, it's a little bit like what happened to poor Tiana. She had a romantic story, but she spent most of her movie as a frog. You just have to make a Disney princess of these different ethnicities who can do the full Disney princess, event activities, right? Although Pocahontas, of course, was very sexy and definitely of age. I remember I've seen that movie a couple of times since I originally saw it, and sometimes I'm like, too sexy. Who's animating this? Let's go throw some cold water on them because this is for families. But anyway, I think there's a happy medium in here somewhere, and it'll be interesting to see how this works out. I think so. In short, I probably would have made Maui look a little bit, more like The Rock, because I would have avoided this. Although I think, as I said in my trailer review, very personable, comes off great. And I wouldn't have made Moana underage. I wouldn't have done it. But I'm curious how you feel. Did this ever occur to you? And also I have to say, when Disney tries to represent different cultures, if there's always complaints, it's going to, I think, keep Disney, they'll always keep trying to do it, but I think it's not going to make them as aggressive in trying to do that as maybe we would like, right? I don't remember anyone in Norway being like, that's not what Norway's like in Frozen, even though I think they took quite a few liberties. All right, so anyway, let's move on. Ansel Elgort, of course, did not get the role of Han Solo. I thought he would have been a great Han Solo. It was like, in my opinion, I thought Taron Egerton was the best choice, but if he couldn't do it, I would have gone with Ansel Elgort. But it went to Alden Ehrenreich, which is a head-scratcher of a choice. But anyway, he got it. So Ansel Elgort is available for work, and it looks like Warner Brothers is going to hire him to star in Dungeons & Dragons, which, of course, is the very popular game, for decades it's been played, and in fact, Vin Diesel is a big fan, and he really wants to be in a Dungeons & Dragons movie. He should talk to Helen Mirren on the set of Fast 8 and say, you lobbied to be in my movie, what's the tactic, right? And he should think back as to what made him want to do it. Although when Helen Mirren wants to be in your movie, especially if you're a Fast and the Furious movie, you let her be in your movie. Vin Diesel, though, he's made some not so great films, and if I were Warner Brothers, I'd be a little bit worried about having him associated with it. But we'll see. Ansel Elgort is an interesting choice, but Dungeons & Dragons, anyway, it's going to be a fantasy movie. They're saying, it's like a big fantasy movie where this guy who Ansel Elgort will be playing is trying to find like a mystical treasure, and he's joined by all these mystical characters, right? And it's going to be directed by Rob Letterman, who comes from animation. He did Gulliver's Travels, but he also did Monsters vs. Aliens for DreamWorks, which is a great movie. Really love that movie, actually. Great female lead voiced by Reese Witherspoon. Actually brought tears to my eyes when she saved the day. I thought that was so great because she did it in such an authentic, non-girl powery way. It was just one of the coolest things I ever did. And she did the Superman pose. That's what made me tear up. But anyway, Rob Letterman did a very good live-action movie recently with Goosebumps, which I really liked, also with Jack Black from Gulliver's Travels. But Goosebumps I thought was very well done. So I think maybe he could pull off Dungeons & Dragons. Now, in the comment section of the news story for this, someone said, how stupid is it to make Dungeons & Dragons after what happened with Warcraft? But I would say Warcraft, not a particularly... it was not a perfectly executed movie. There were really obvious problems with Warcraft. And I think to Warcraft's credit, while I think the critics were unfair to it, I think most people who saw Warcraft saw tremendous potential there, myself included. And some of the best parts were the magic elements. So considering how Rob Letterman did such a good job delivering what I think audiences wanted with the Goosebumps brand, I think he would do a good job delivering what people want with the Dungeons & Dragons brand. More so, perhaps, than Duncan Jones did with Warcraft. So I think this sounds pretty good. As long as they keep that budget reasonable, Ansel Elgort's a good choice. Maybe I would get Vin Diesel, and also, learn from Warcraft. The lack of star power was disturbing. So if they could get more stars, and I think Ansel Elgort could be a star. I think he has a little bit to overcome being like a heartthrob in those teen weepies, but he's actually really good. I think you should give Ansel Elgort a chance if you have not already. So that's the second story of the day. Now, the third story of the day, we just talked about China yesterday on Movie Math and how they're saving Now You See Me Too, where it opened with double the amount of money it opened with in the United States. But something else that's on China's to-do list, as we've also discussed here on Movie Math and the regular Beyond the Trailer channel, is that they really want to get into production, global film production. They want to make movies that also compete on the world stage. They don't just want to be, a money bin, Uncle Scrooge's money bin for Hollywood. They want to go and they want to make money here. They want it to be a two-way street, basically. So that has revealed itself as competing 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea projects. Now, as we all know, Bryan Singer is trying to make this over at Fox. And for a while there, David Fincher was going to try and do it at Disney, but that fell apart. And Disney's still working on a Captain Nemo movie, but we'll see if, if a third, Disney's such a juggernaut. If they want to come into the space, they could. But right now, that's stuck in development. So they only have two 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea movies at work. One, again, is the Bryan Singer one at Fox, which is moving forward very quickly. And that has a script from the Conjuring 2 screenwriter. But China is making one from their Bliss Media, and they've hired Christoph Gans to direct. Now, he did do Silent Hill. He also did Brotherhood of the Wolf. You might recall that movie. It got a lot of attention for its visuals. And also his latest, Beauty and the Beast, which also had really stunning visuals. I don't really think it was ever released here in the United States, though. And so I think if China wants to really succeed on the global stage, this movie would need to be aggressively marketed here in the United States. I think that's a real problem. And I think that might be some reason why Luc Besson has his EuropaCorp distribution company over in Europe releasing here in the United States now. I think these companies might have to release their own movies if they really want to be competitive in the U.S. marketplace. But anyway, this one will be the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea that Christoph Gans is making for China will be multilingual. However, it will have two Chinese leads. Maybe they can get someone familiar somewhat to U.S. audiences. But it will be, besides the two Chinese leads, and they haven't said if one of the leads will be Nemo, so we'll see. But it will be an East and West mashup of sensibilities. But it is underlyingly a Western property, and I think it'll be interesting to see not only another country, but another region of the world adapt that. I think what I'm the most interested in is, will Nemo be of Indian descent in either of these projects, and even the Disney one. I think that's a very important aspect of the character. I think it would be a good idea to be respectful to the source material, and I think the best example I've seen of Nemo so far is Alan Moore's League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and I would really like to see that kind of Nemo realized on the big screen. So let's see. You can get, I believe, Irfan Khan from Jurassic World. And when Jurassic World played at my press screening, he came on screen, the whole audience cheered. He's a great actor, and you can get someone like that people are aware of. And I think making Nemo not the lead is a good way, but still a very strong supporting or a very strong character is a good way to keep that nationality, but still have the lead that the Hollywood studios demand to justify whatever budget they're sinking into this stuff. But we'll see. I want to see a foreign film, like preferably from China, or, I was very happy when some Russian films have gotten on our radar, but I want to see a major foreign film actually make a dent really here at the U.S. box office. I think the last one to really do that was Instructions Not Included by Eugenio Derbez from Mexico, and that was like 2 or 3 years ago. So I'd really like to see this continue, and I'm hoping that this one is one of them. I think it sounds very exciting. So I'm curious, what do you think of today's morning movie news? What are your thoughts on all three of these stories? Be sure to share them down below, and go and get your copy of Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Edition. You can watch it earlier so that you can you don't have to worry about the being distracted if that's something that's concerning you tonight, or you can watch it with me. I won't have seen it yet. You can watch it with me for the first time as well. But anyway, I hope that you will join me, no matter what the circumstances are, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on the main Beyond the Trailer channel. All right, see you then. Bye.